Now, Miguel Diaz is a character who's gone through arguably the most in Cobra Kai, and I covered it in a video over a year ago discussing Miguel's arc from seasons 1 to 3. But I figured that I could say a lot more while also adding in my thoughts on his recent arc in season 4. This is probably the last big video I'm going to be making before season 5, so I seriously hope you guys enjoy it. Now, Miguel Diaz was a kid without a father figure who moved with his mom and grandma to Reseda. He just so happens to be neighbors with Johnny Lawrence, who then goes on to save Miguel from a group of bullies. And next thing you know, thanks to some revenge plus Miguel begging, Johnny begins to teach him Cobra Kai. Now, he does get knocked down a couple times, a lot of times actually, but we see Miguel is a kid with a good heart and Johnny sees a fire in him. Miguel himself also looks up to Johnny since he's turning him into, well, not a loser. But what's interesting about this is we see even in episode 5 that Johnny once was treated like how they were, but he managed to rise above it by escaping it with karate. And instead of being the Sid to Miguel's Johnny, he does the opposite and encourages the kids, which also by extension encourages Miguel. And it's funny because the person who sort of inspired all of this from Johnny was Miguel himself. Despite being a Cobra Kai and using a very aggressive style, Miguel is a kid who follows his heart and does the right thing. He somewhat already by episode 5 has a type of balance, showing he's there to protect Sam, but it's with a style that's apparently too dangerous. It isn't until missing context from Sam's part and seeing Robbie with her, plus getting influenced with alcohol, that leads into things getting out of hand and Sam dumping Miguel by the end of things. This enrages Miguel, and low-key at this moment, I really don't know who to be mad at. Yeah, Miguel shouldn't have even attacked Robbie in the first place, but he's under alcohol influence. So that in itself is just kind of like, damn, can't really do anything about that. Plus, Sam could have explained she can't introduce Miguel because of her father, but she didn't and instead avoided it, causing Miguel to be paranoid. And, listen man, Robbie definitely had intentions with Sam. That's all I'm saying. I don't care. You guys can try and argue this with the comments.
I don't want to keep him waiting.
And thanks to Johnny also being upset at that night, he teaches the kids no mercy to attempt to get revenge, which actually works out in their favor. But Johnny soon realizes that using no mercy wasn't the way to go since Miguel wasn't the better fighter out of him and Robbie, and did not prove anything except just prove that Miguel can be a jerk. However, that is when we move into season 2, where initially Miguel and the others are cocky after their victory, but Johnny makes it well known that their victory wasn't a real one and they shouldn't even be all that happy about it. With Miguel and Hawk confused and more so believing that Johnny is just biased because of Robbie being his son, Johnny ensures he has Miguel's back by taking him where he was when Robbie was born. And this is when we get one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the series, showing how Johnny failed everything in his life, but the one thing he did right was train Miguel. And literally since that moment, things have been going right for Johnny. And this leads into Miguel staying close with Johnny, but due to temporarily leaving, Tori and Kreese sort of get in his head and show off a different perspective than what Miguel is used to, which is fighting to win no matter what it takes. Now, this side of Miguel has been explored within season 1's finale, but we see Miguel go full demon after the Coyote Creek fight, ruthlessly defeating Hawk to look impressive, but Johnny wouldn't even be impressed, instead shaming Miguel for pulling out a tactic like that. And that's when it hits Miguel. If he wants to play Karate War, he better not let his morality get in the way of that. Johnny doesn't want the same thing that happened to him happen with Miguel, and after this confrontation, we have Miguel kissing Sam, plus sparing Robbie since it was the best thing to do in that scenario, keeping his morale intact. But sadly, Robbie broke a leg and Miguel damn near was permanently unable to fight. The Miyagi-Do this time showed no mercy, whereas the Cobra Kai spared Miyagi-Do. This leads into season 3, where he and Johnny are both arguably at their lowest points and must prevail together. We see how much Johnny helps Miguel with his recovery, along with Miguel helping Johnny move forward from his beef with Daniel, and despite losing without no mercy, again, it didn't stop him from keeping his morale intact. We even see in season 4 with Robbie how embracing this hatred got him nowhere, and it only made Johnny hurt Miguel in the end. I'll further elaborate on that later. Miguel even realizes that this mentality does nothing but causes problems from his conversations with Tori and Hawk. Tori and Hawk genuinely wanted to cause pain to others that were not even involved for Miguel, which makes no sense to him and genuinely shouldn't make sense to anybody. And with Hawk, we see how it really just got nowhere but caused problems since he returned to the light anyway. And reason for that was Miguel sort of slapped him out of it. This was a combination of Miguel and Johnny's doing. And when facing his former bully yet again, who's now in the same dojo he joined to beat him up, he learns to kick again and defeats Kyler a second time, getting the best resolve amp moment in Cobra Kai. Now for season 4. We have Miguel back at 100% with him becoming even more powerful than ever, thanks to him learning Miyagi-Do. That's right, Season 4 Miguel should be stronger than Season 2 Miguel. He's learned both styles, but simply just can't use his best technique during the finale of Season 4, which might not even be due to him being injured, rather just mentally holding himself back. A hypothetical not mentally nerfed Miguel would be in the top 3 respectfully, however Robbie and Eli both outdo him this season. And I already know I'm gonna hear, well, Season 4 is still recovering from his injury, so Season 2 should be stronger. We already see Season 4 Miguel basically recover, and he is literally fine, he's chilling. And again, him pulling that muscle and him not being able to do the technique might just be because he's mentally nerfed, because we see him earlier do the kick in the tournament. And the main reason for Miguel being mentally held back is because Season 4 mainly explored Miguel's fatherhood and realized, despite having figures like Johnny and even Danny, at the end of the day, they have families of their own. He learns this specifically the hard way with Johnny when he says, "I love you too, Robbie," to Miguel. And right before this, he got his prom night ruined by Robbie and his ex, who are now together. Miguel after this wasn't even in the right state of mind, making him pretty nerfed in the finale. After suffering an injury, he leaves and decides to search for answers himself, and now in Season 5, we will see Miguel complete his fatherhood arc. I will say as well, despite all of this, Miguel still has the best showings of using both styles pretty well. Doing the best in the Miyagi-Do training, plus using the drum technique against Kyler in Season 3. And despite him using such an aggressive style, he doesn't let that get in the way of his morale like the other Cobras do. Like a lot of people say, Miguel has consistently been the chosen one, and it's shown in this season as well. It's weird to say what's going to happen between him and Sam, whose relationship is sort of weird since they got back together in the worst way possible, but Miguel Diaz to me represents both sides of the coin at the same time, while now going through an arc that's been a pretty big establishment throughout Cobra Kai as a whole. Fatherhood is a big theme in the story, and for essentially our protagonist to go on this arc now, it's pretty exciting stuff to see and takes the character in a unique direction. Now, I wasn't gonna go off on you Miguel haters, but I gotta say something. How do you guys say that Miguel's arc in Season 4 is whack and, oh, he doesn't win, therefore he's lame? Even though the times where he's even the strongest fighter around, he's not even all that. Like, bruh, in Season 1, he was legit weaker than Robbie. He had to win by cheating. If you think that's cool, then good for you. Miguel in Season 2 is actually pretty cool because he was stronger than Robbie, but he was like, nah, I'm better than you. I'm not about to do all that. And Season 3, bro was crippled, and he was still beating people up! Now, yeah, Season 4 Miguel technically doesn't have a W, but goddamn, like, the whole show isn't just fighting, bro. I am so glad they went this direction with Miguel's arc in Season 4, in contrast to, oh, Miguel's gonna win again, oh my god, the champion. Like, that is so annoying and so predictable, and honestly, people would have probably complained about it being annoying and predictable. Regardless, we were not winning. Stop complaining, bro!